This is note taker 29 on mammals. Mammals will be our last group of vertebrates we'll talk about. They are warm-blooded, and the definition of a mammal is a warm-blooded vertebrate that has hair or fur on its body at some point of its life, and they feed their young with milk produced in mammary glands. That's actually where we get our name mammals from. All of your mammals will have lungs to breathe, even those that are born in the ocean. And we are going to have a double loop circulatory system with a 4-chambered heart. The nervous system will consist of a highly developed brain, and in mammals the brain makes thinking, learning, and understanding possible. It helps us coordinate movement, and it regulates our body functions. We are also going to have highly developed senses that can provide us with information about our environment surrounding us. All mammals will have internal fertilization, just like your reptiles and your birds, which means that the male and the female must mate, and the eggs will be fertilized inside the female's body. Once this fertilization occurs, depending on what happens next, will determine which group a mammal is placed in. We have some mammals that lay eggs, we have mammals that are pouched, and we have mammals that are called placental mammals, and we'll talk about each type. Your egg-laying mammals are called monotremes, and there are only 2 members in this group. We have the duck-billed platypus and what is called an echidna, which another name for it is the spiny anteater. Now, these mommies, the mommy duck-billed platypus and the mommy spiny anteater, will actually lay eggs in a nest, but once the eggs are hatched, they will be fed by milk produced in the mother's mammary glands. Your adult platypus and your adult spiny anteater are actually going to feed on insects. However, your platypus will have a little bit bigger of a diet. It can also feed off of mussels, snails, worms, and some small fish in the river. The top picture and the bottom picture on the left are both pictures of your duck-billed platypus, and the picture on the bottom right is a picture of your spiny anteater. Your pouched mammals are called marsupials, and you're going to have kangaroos, koalas, opossums, wombats, bandicoots, and gliders, most of which are native to Australia. However, we do have one marsupial native to the US, and that would be the opossum. With our baby marsupials, they almost go through what we call 2 births. The first birth, when it comes out of the mother, it's not going to be very well developed. It actually looks like an ugly little pink jelly bean, and they don't have eyes, they don't have ears, they don't have very well developed legs, but they will find a way to crawl through the mother's hair all the way to a pouch where they will then attach themselves onto one of the mom's teats, T-E-A-T, and they will feed off the mother's milk until they develop further and then will come out of the pouch. Most of your marsupials are going to be herbivores, which means they eat plant material. In the bottom right picture here, this shows a little baby kangaroo attached to the mom's teat inside her pouch, and it will feed off of milk there until it's big enough, like the top left-hand picture, to pop its head out and it'll crawl out of the pouch. These are 2 more examples of our marsupials, the koala on the left and the opossum on the right. Our last group of mammals are going to be our placental mammals. This will be our largest group. And a placental mammal, the baby develops totally inside the mother until it's ready to be born. We are called placental mammals because there is a special structure inside the mother's uterus called the placenta, and this is a structure through which food, oxygen, and waste are exchanged between the mother and the baby. The time that the baby spends inside of the mom developing is called a gestation period. So for humans, that would be 9 months. For an elephant, it's just under 2 years. If we talk about a smaller animal, like a hamster or a gerbil or a mouse, we're talking about 3 weeks. Now, after the mother gives birth, they will then feed the young with milk produced from her mammary glands. And we're going to break our placental mammals down into categories according to how they eat, how they move, and where they may live. Your insect-eating mammals are going to include moles, hedgehogs, and shrews. Moles are going to be burrowing animals. They're going to live underground, and they don't have very good eyesight. Usually they can only distinguish between light and dark. Hedgehogs are going to be covered with spines, and when threatened, they'll actually roll up in a little ball to protect themselves with the spines pointing outwards. And shrews are going to look very similar to mice, but with a elongated nose. And these guys are going to be super active, so active that they have to eat twice their weight in insects every single day. The top picture shows a shrew. The bottom left is a mole, and you can see how his claws are very large, and those are used for digging underground. And then the cute little guy in the bottom right, that's a hedgehog. Flying mammals only have one group, and that would be bats. They're able to fly because they have a flap of skin that is stretched over their what would be their finger bones, and these form wings. Most of your bats use echolocation to find prey. Echolocation is going to be a high-pitched squeak. They'll send that out, and it bounces off the prey, and when it comes back, the bat knows exactly what it's shaped like and where it is. Here we have examples of bats. The top left picture is a little brown bat. The top right picture is a flying fox or a fruit bat, and you can see it's eaten quite a bit of that piece of fruit that's hanging. And then our bottom picture is a vampire bat. Now with a vampire bat, it does not turn into a vampire, and if it bites you, it does not turn you into a vampire. However, they do feed off blood. It will use the sharp teeth in the front to make a tiny little slice in the skin, and then it will lick up the blood and drink that for nutrients. Your flesh-eating mammals are also called carnivores. Members of this group are going to be walruses, cats, dogs, seals, weasels, bears, etc., etc., etc. And your carnivores are going to have teeth designed for ripping and tearing at flesh, and they will also have claws on their feet for holding prey. Here are some examples of your carnivores. Your walrus is top left. You have an Arctic wolf top right. Bottom left is a tiger, and bottom right, that's a beautiful grizzly bear. Your toothless mammals are going to have either no teeth or little tiny flat teeth in their mouth. And members of this group are going to include your armadillos, your sloths, and your anteaters. Your anteaters are going to have long sticky tongues for catching insects. Your armadillos will have a strong armor-like coat, and they will sometimes roll in a ball to protect themselves. They're going to feed off plants, insects, and other small animals. And your sloth is going to be extremely slow-moving. It's going to feed off of leaves and fruit, and it pretty much spends all its time hanging up in the trees and will usually come down once a week to go to the bathroom. Top left is your armadillo. Bottom left is your giant anteater, which is the size of a small pony. And on the right hand side is a picture of the sloth. Your hoofed mammals are going to have thick hooves on their feet. Members of this group are going to include your cows, your pigs, your camels, your goats, your deers, your giraffe. And with our hoofed animals, humans have domesticated quite a few to use. We also use them as a food source, a clothing source, and transportation. Hoofed mammals include your giraffe, top left, camel, top right, goat, bottom center, hippopotamus, top left, and a rhinoceros, bottom right, are also hoofed mammals. Continuing with more placental mammals, we have our trunk-nosed mammal, and there's only one member of this group, and that would be the elephant. The elephant uses its trunk to breathe, to give itself either a water or dirt shower, and it also will rip branches so it can strip the leaves and eat them for food. Here are two elephants. Our gnawing mammals are going to be called rodents, and rodents will include chipmunks, squirrels, rats, mice, beavers, porcupines, hamsters, gerbils, chinchillas. All of them are going to be part of this group. Your rodents have 4 special incisors, which are teeth, that they use to gnaw on objects like woods, nuts, grains, things like that. Top middle, we have a gerbil. Bottom left, we have a beaver. Bottom right, we have a porcupine. Your rodent-like mammals are going to consist of rabbits, hares, and a cute little guy called a pika. And these guys are also going to have gnawing teeth like the rodents. However, they're also going to have a small pair of grinding teeth behind them. And if you've ever seen a bunny rabbit eat, it will kind of move its jaw side to side while it's grinding the food down. Our rodent-like mammals, top left we have a bunny rabbit, top right we have a hare, and the bottom center, this cute little guy here, is called a pika. He's going to have a little bit thicker hair, and the smaller ears. He's going to live in more mountainous regions where the temperatures are a little cooler. Our water-dwelling mammals are going to consist of whales, porpoises, dolphins, dugongs, and manatees. Even though they do live in the water, they breathe through lungs, so each of these guys do have to come up to the surface to get air. And believe it or not, even though you may not think that dolphins or whales had hair on them, at some point of their lives, usually when they're younger, they will have whisker-like structures that would be the hair that to put them in this category, and they will also feed their young with milk produced in mammary glands. Top left is a whale. Middle right is the dolphin. Bottom left is a porpoise. Top left is a manatee, and bottom right is a dugong. Our last group of placental mammals, and the last group of animals we're going to talk about, are the primates. Your primates are going to include chimpanzees, gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, baboons, monkeys, and humans. Primates will have 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. Fingers are capable of grasping, picking things up, complicated movements. Your primates are also going to have the larger brains and are considered the most intelligent animal. Humans, however, are going to be the only primate that can make complex tools. Some of our other ones, like chimpanzees, have made simpler tools out of rocks and sticks, but as humans, you can see the technology we have and what we are capable of. On the left, we have a spider monkey. On the right, we have a gorilla. On the left, we have an orangutan. And on the right, we have a lemur. A lemur is going to be found only in Madagascar. And this little guy here is called a ring-tailed lemur. Please do not forget to complete the assessment following the video.